Yes, it's my delight to welcome you to Sports Track, a production of Aloore Radio, online radio of the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Secretariat Ibadan. My name is Abdul Fatai Oyedeji. Yes, it's been involved with motorsports, and of course we start with Red Bull's Max Verstappen inflicted a home defeat on Charles Leclerc and Ferrari in the Italian Grand Prix at the weekend to continue his cruise to a second world title. The Dutchman beat Leclerc after the Italian team tried a questionable two-stop strategy, surrendering the lead to the reigning champion twice on track. Verstappen's 11th win this year puts him 116 points clear of Leclerc and means he could potentially become the championship at the next race in Singapore. Mercedes George Russell took third ahead of the Ferrari Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes, both of whom fought up from the back of the grid. Of course, it was a great one for Max Verstappen and his team, the Red Bull. Moving on to football, it's been a very busy weekend in the CAF Continental Cup Championship, and of course, Nigerian teams shone brightly. They did well in the various championships, as we have the results this morning. In the CAF Champions League, it was a massive win for Rivers United, campaigning for Nigeria in the CAF Continental Cup Championship, beating Waranga Football Club of Liberia 3-0 at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium in Port Harcourt. Of course, in other results, you have Black Bulls of Mozambique losing at home to Petro Atletico of Angola 3-0. CFFA of Madagascar also lost at home to Royal Leopards of 3-2. Flambeau du Center of Burundi defeated Al Ittihad of Libya 1-0 also on Saturday. St. George FC of Ethiopia defeated El Hilal of Ombudsman of Sudan 2-1, and AS Atta of Djibouti lost at home 1-2 to El Merreikh of Sudan. Cotton Sports Garoua Club of DRC 1-0. Volcan Club of Comoros defeated Lepasi of Seychelles 1-0. APR of Rwanda also won by the same margin against Monastir of Tunisia. Big Bullets of Malawi lost at home to Simba of Tanzania, and Cape Town City of South Africa defeated Otodoyo of 2-0. And of course, you have AS Stade Manji of Gabon playing 2-2 home draw against Plateau United of Nigeria. KM of Zanzibar lost 0-2 to El Ali Tripoli of Libya, and Red Arrows of Zambia lost at home to Primeiro de Grosso of Angola by 0-0. Earlier on Saturday, you have Olympic Real Bangui of Central African Republic losing 0-3 to Vipers of Uganda. Niger of Niger also defeated Soa of Guinea by 2-1. In the CAF Confederations Cup, Kwara United of Nigeria yesterday defeated AS Douanis of Niger Republic 3-0. And of course, it was a good one for Nigerian striker Wasil, who scored a brace. Ashraf Club of Morocco also played 2-2 home draw against Remo Stars of Nigeria in the CAF Confederations Cup last night. Let's quickly move to France, and of course, the story is not too good for Nigerian striker Moses Simon. Moses Simon features for Nantes in the French Championnat. He scored a goal as Nantes lost 3-2 to Lorient yesterday. Of course, it was not all about Moses Simon in that encounter. You had two Nigerian players in the color yesterday. Chimunaya Ugochukwu did not score a goal, but he was on duty and of course provided assist and played with his team. Reigns as they got the maximum 3 points at the expense of AJ Auxerre. And of course, you have AJ Ajaccio losing at home to Nice 1-0, and the Lot scored the only goal of that match for Nice in the 78th minute of action. Toulouse defeated Reims 1-0 yesterday, and you had the maximum 3 points for Toulouse in that match. Strasbourg and Clermont played a 0-0 draw and just defeated Montpellier 2-1. And of course, you had Neymar scoring the only goal for PSG on Saturday as they defeated Brest by a goal to nothing. It was 7 straight win for PSG in the French championnat at the weekend. Of course, you had a goal disallowed for the same Neymar in that match, and before he scored the winning goal for PSG. The color looks like this on the table. Olympique Marseille yes, are still second. They won their match 2-0 at the weekend. PSG is on the top of the table with 19 points. Olympique Marseille equally have 19 points. They are placed second. Lens are placed third with 17 points in the French championnat. Yes, teenage striker Jamal Musiala was the star of the match for Bayern Munich as they played a 2-2 home draw against VfB Stuttgart on Saturday. It's been a very bad start for the German club sides. Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund this season. Bayern Munich failed to win at home on Saturday, and of course Jamal Musiala scored one of the goals for Bayern Munich. And Frankfurt lost at home to VfL Wolfsburg by 0-0, and of course former Chelsea player Martin Odoi was on duty as Bayer Leverkusen played a 2-2 away draw to Hertha Berlin. Hoffenheim defeated Mainz 4-1, and RB Leipzig defeated Borussia Dortmund 3-0. Also on Saturday, Schalke 04 defeated Bochum 3-1. On Saturday, Werder Bremen lost at home to Augsburg by 0-0, and of course it was Emedin Demirovic who scored the only goal for Augsburg in that match. And the table looks like this in Germany. Union Berlin, for the first time, are on top of the league table in German Bundesliga. After 6 games, they have 14 points. Freiburg is placed second with 13 points. Bayern Munich 12 points, and VfL Hoffenheim are placed fourth on the table with 12 points. Borussia Dortmund are in the 5th position with 12 points and Mainz 10 points. Let's quickly move to Spain, and there was an home loss to Espanyol. They lost 2-3 to Seville, and of course Rayo Vallecano defeated Valencia by 2-1. Nico, midfielder for Valencia, was given the red card in the course of that match, and Valencia ended the match with 10 men. They lost the match 2-1 to Rayo Vallecano. At the Nuevo Mirandilla, Cadiz lost to FC Barcelona 4-0 on Saturday. Frederic de Jong opened scoring for Barcelona, and of course you have goals from Robert Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, and Ousmane Dembele. And Barcelona are moving to their form now. They are placed second behind Real Madrid. Temporarily, Barcelona were at the top of the table on Saturday before Real Madrid played their match yesterday and they won. And of course, Barcelona have 17 away games without any defeat so far, and they are back to form again. Barcelona placed second. Atletico Madrid defeated Celta Vigo 4-1 on Saturday, and of course you had goals from Yannick Carrasco, Rodrigo de Paul, and of course you have Nunes own goal, and a massive one for Atletico Madrid. Rudiger, you have Rudiger on duty for Real Madrid on Sunday yesterday. Yes, Rudiger scored one of the goals for Real Madrid. Former Chelsea defender was brilliant in his performance. Rodrigo scored a goal, and Valverde and Vinicius Jr. was also on target as Real Madrid won 4-1 to FC Mallorca. Elche lost at home 1-4 to Atletico Bilbao, and Getafe defeated Real Sociedad by 2-1. After 5 games in Spain, Real Madrid are back at the top of the table with 15 points. FC Barcelona are placed second with 13 points. Villarreal are placed third. Atletico Bilbao are placed fourth, and Atletico Madrid are placed fifth. So far, so good. Real Madrid remain the only team in the Spanish La Liga with 100% record. They have not lost any game this season, and they are placed at the top of the league table in Spain. Let's move to the Italian Serie A. Yes, good one here going on. There were drama and, of course, melodrama at the weekend in the Italian Serie A. And Nigerian striker Ademola Lookman was on duty for Atalanta on Saturday as they played a 1-1 home draw to Cremonense, and Marko Anatovic was on duty. He scored one of the brilliant goals for Bologna as they defeated Fiorentina 2-1. Of course, Marko Anatovic and Musa Barrow were the goal scorers for Bologna in that match. Lecce played a 1-1 home draw against Monza, and Sassuolo lost 1-3 to Udinese at home. Lazio defeated Verona 2-0, and Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen is out until the end of October on injury. But he was not, despite the fact that he was not on duty. Napoli won their match to Spezia 1-0. Marko Brozovic scored that goal for Inter Milan as they defeated Torino 1-0 at the weekend, and Sampdoria lost at home 1-2 to AC Milan. Oliver Giroud was on target for AC Milan. He scored a penalty in the 63rd minute. And yesterday night there was a big drama as the old ladies Juventus played a disappointing 2-2 home draw against Salernitana. Of course, it was a big one. Juventus were almost losing that match before a last-minute gaps effort by Milik gave them a 2-2 home draw to Salernitana. After 6 games, Napoli are still on top of the table with 14 points. Atalanta also on 14 points are placed second. AC Milan also on 14 points. Very tight schedule at the top of the league table in the Italian Serie A. AC Milan equally have 14 points and they are placed third. Udinese 13 points and Inter Milan 12 points. It is not never over until it's over. Let's bring the story of Nigerian forward Odion Igalo at the weekend. Odion Igalo was on duty, and of course he scored twice in the 18th minute, and he converted a spot kick as Al Hilal defeated Zamalek to the Lusail Super Cup on Friday. That was at the weekend. That means that it's not over. Odion Igalo still has the form and is still doing it very well. Yes, another story of another Nigerian player, Chidera Ejuke. The Super Eagles player was very impressive at the weekend as I played for Hertha Berlin as they grabbed a 2-2 draw against Bayer Leverkusen in Berlin. Ejuke looked very good as he created the team's first goal after Leverkusen had pegged them behind early in the second half. Yet another Nigerian player, Kelechi Nwakali, former Arsenal player, found the back of the net for SD Preferendina at the weekend in their 1-2 home defeat to Real Zaragoza in a game week 5 fixture in the second division yesterday. Yes, moving back to transfer stories in the English Premier League. Yes, Chelsea have gotten the first one on Brighton over Albion. They've gotten their coach, Potter, but it's not over yet. The management of Brighton are very, very well aware that Chelsea could still snatch one of their players in January transfer window when it opens. Brighton are set to begin contract talks with Moses Caicedo amid concern over a possible approach from Chelsea, and that story has been confirmed by The Sun. The Blues were linked with the 20-year-old midfielder in the summer, and after coach Graham Potter made the switch from the Amex Stadium to Stamford Bridge, the Seagulls believe that he could be tempted to follow his former manager in January. The Ecuador International has caught the attention of a number of clubs in this season after his performances in the Premier League, and that tells you that a lot could still happen before January or in January when the window opens. Caicedo has become a regular starter for Brighton since joining in February for £4.5 million from Independiente del Valle after Besuma place in midfield was freed up by his move to Tottenham Hotspur. Latest report is also confirming that Chelsea are determined to make a midfield signing in January. The London Evening Standard said at the weekend that Chelsea could revisit 3 moves that they failed to complete at the end of the summer transfer window. Blues owner Tobelli is set to back new boss Graham Potter in January in the market as the ex-Brighton boss looks to put his own stamp on his new team. Ajax star Edson Alvarez, PSV Eindhoven's Ibrahim Sangare, and Southampton starlet Romero Lavia were all linked with the West London side, however most never materialized. Report is saying that Graham Potter could renew his interest in these 3 players, and that the 3 players could be joining up with Chelsea. Remember that Chelsea spent over £200 million in the transfer window before it closed. Let's quickly tell you there's a new sheriff in town. We moved to tennis this morning. And of course, action has come to an end at the Flushing Meadows, talking about the US Open Tennis Championship. And a new man has emerged as the world number 1. The championship came to an end yesterday at the Flushing Meadows, and Spanish teenager Carlos Alcaraz is now the world number 1 in tennis. He fulfilled his potential as a future Grand Slam champion and world number 1 by beating Gaspar Ruud in the US Open final to achieve both feats. Alcaraz won 6-4, 2-6, 7-6, 6-3, and 6-3 in the first major final. The 19-year-old is the youngest man's Grand Slam champion since Rafael Nadal won the French Open in the year 2005. Ruud, who is 23, would have become the new world number 1 if he had won, but has now lost both of his 2 major finals. Instead, it is Alcaraz who replaces Russia's Daniil Medvedev at the top, becoming the first teenager to climb to the summit in the 49-year history of the ATP ranking. And moving on, yes, the championship came to an end for the men yesterday at the Flushing Meadows. At the women's side, the final came up on Saturday, and Polish star and world number 1 Igor Swiatek defeated Tunisia's Ons Jabeur 6-2, 7-6, and that was the end of the show for the female event on Saturday. And after winning on Saturday, yes, Igor Swiatek said anything is possible after the US Open victory. The sky is the limit for her career. The woman. She becomes the 9th woman in history to win a 3rd major title before her 22nd birthday. A most rewarding year for Igor Swiatek. Earlier this year, she put together a 37-match winning streak that enabled her to win 6 titles in a row individually. And of course, it's been a great year, and different folks for different folks. Beating finalists Ons Jabeur, as I've said, was full of commendation for Igor Swiatek at the weekend, and she said she has really set the bar very high. It's great for our sport, the 28-year-old said on Saturday. And that's going to be all on the program for this morning. And of course, the big show will be coming up on Wednesday again, when we'll come together to bring you the latest in the world of sport. Remember, the show is coming to you live on the production of Aloore Radio, online radio of the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Secretariat Ibadan. My name is Abdul Fatai Oyedeji. I move out of the studio.